Space Coconut.
Okay, so we get to take a peek at the numbers today. If you like videos like this, please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all of that stuff. I want to do this full time. I don't want to have to wait to get off of work to make a video. I would have liked to have put this video out 8 hours earlier. It would have been out on the 8th. So help me out. Help me do this full time. Anyway, moving on. So the Rift and the Archive dropped today, and they're very, very woven together. So I'm sure you've seen all of the hype, all of the videos saying people are saying this is amazing for Dead by Daylight and all of that stuff. You know how I feel about the Battle Pass, but what we're going to focus on today is what is in it and what it's going to take in order to unlock everything for your $10, and how long it's going to take. So let's start at the very beginning. In the Battle Pass, you have, 70 tiers. Each tier requires 10 Rift fragments to unlock. Now, in the Battle Pass itself, you have the total rewards, everything. If you unlock everything, you will get 1,000 Auric Cells, 13 Killer Cosmetics, 13 Survivor Cosmetics, 9 Killer Charms, 7 Survivor Charms, and 3 charms that are for both Survivor and Killer. The cosmetics that are available right now are mostly for the original members of Dead by Daylight. The nurse so much isn't the nurse is a special case. But you have the Trapper, the Hillbilly, the Wraith, Jake, Meg, Claudette, and Dwight. The cosmetics, because this is the first iteration of the Archive, this is who they decided to focus on, were the original members. Now, the special situation with the nurse is that the nurse, for the longest time, until today, depending on who you ask, was the strongest killer in Dead by Daylight. She was by far the number one played killer the PC version. I want you to think about this. Instead of including her in the overall Hallowed Blight, you have to pay $10 for the chance to earn this cosmetic. You can't earn it with the vials. You can't purchase it in the store with the vials. It is only through this. So, depending on how you look at it, you're paying $10 for the chance to earn this cosmetic. So I want you to kind of think about that for a second. They purposefully withheld it so people would purchase the Battle Pass. If anything, that is the number one thing that people will buy this for, is the Blight costume for the nurse. I personally don't like it, and lucky for me, the Hag's body in the premium track is meh, and her arm will go pretty good with Lettuce Hag. So, meh. So, anyway, back to what we're looking at here. So those are the rewards for the Battle Pass. Now, to unlock each tier of that Battle Pass, it requires 10 Rift fragments. The primary source, the most pushed source of Rift fragments is going to be through the Archives. Now, this is where I have a problem with this system. Through the Archives, the killer, depending on which role you play, right? If you play both, you're not going to have a problem with this, and the point is irrelevant. So, you can ignore this. But for people who play either role, the killer side earns 34 Rift fragments. The Survivor earns 43. There are challenges for both, which gives you 6, and you get 10 Rift fragments for reaching the end of the tome. It's that part that unlocks at the very end. The problem for people like myself is that some of the challenges for the opposite role are going to be immensely challenging. I don't have any of the perks unlocked for Survivor. I don't have any Bloodpoints put into those Survivors. I have no skill playing Survivor, and yet I'm supposed to go through these challenges for this Battle Pass with that amount of skill to be able to earn these things. it's going to take, I mean, and as I'm trying to do these challenges, I'm spending time doing matches, which we're going to talk about later, that I could be earning XP to grind out the remaining shards or remaining fragments on the killer side, which I'm better with. Do you remember what happened when the devs forced players to play both roles in order to unlock all of the vials? People got mad. People like myself were like, hey, I don't like playing this way. And, in the middle of the event, they had to change it. It's like they didn't learn. So now we have to deal with these challenges that you're forced to play a role that you may not enjoy or are awful with. And you have to hope that you can do the challenges. And it's unfortunate. What the devs, this is going to be my feedback for this thing, is that the devs need to find a way for the entire thing to be unlocked by one role or both roles. Then people can do the challenges. Maybe each node has do this or this. Hey, it's for both, killers, and there are the same number of nodes and everything. That would be a very simple solution to the problem. But as of right now, I'm not. Thankfully, the first battle pass doesn't have anything I'm really interested in. The free pass has the hag claw. That's all I need. But if there were anything else that people want, like myself, like all of the survivor cosmetics are useless to me. They mean nothing. I don't want to purchase those. I don't play hillbilly, so those are all out. The wraith, his costume's kind of meh. But I mean, you don't get the same value if you don't play the game the way the devs want you to. And I don't know, maybe that's not a thing that should happen. But it's the problem. It's the feedback that I'm going to give. So, I had to rant a little bit. Moving on. You all, in addition to these 93, this is a total of 93 rift fragments, which is enough for 9 tiers of the battle pass. In addition to this, you're going to get 415,000 blood points. Now, this is free for everyone. Everybody gets these nice shiny things, but as far as I know, anybody who doesn't buy the battle pass, gaining the rift fragments is going to be meaningless, so they're just there. The game might keep track of how many you earn, so if you actually do decide to purchase the battle pass near the end of the season, if you purchase it, it's all retroactive, so you can gain all of the rewards you would have earned if you had been playing regularly. So there is that. After I finished editing this, I realized my mistake. Obviously, the rift fragments will apply to the free track of the battle pass. For the purposes of this video, I was ignoring it, but I shouldn't do that in the future because this is tied together. The rift fragments are going to unlock your tiers regardless. So earning the rift tiers, even if you don't purchase the battle pass, is going to unlock your free tiers of the battle pass. I'd like to point this out, and I think this is kind of funny on the devs' part. The final charm you can earn in the free track is a brand new part, and I think it's kind of funny that they chose this because what did they just do? They added a brand new part to Dead by Daylight. Come on, that's funny. Anyway, moving on. We're gonna assume that there are 4 levels to this tome. And we're going to guess that because of the 4 gray boxes at the top. They're all tied together with a small gray line, and there is no gray line leading from number 4 onward. So we're going to assume that there are only 4 levels to this tome. This means that through the archives, you can only earn 372 fragments, which is enough for 37 tiers. This means that there are 43 tiers left, and the only way to get those is to grind 800 XP for each rift fragment. The interesting thing about this is that the fragment XP is actually the same as your devotion XP. That's where the XP, that's the number they're using for your XP. Now, I've played several matches, and until now, I never paid attention to how much devotion I was actually gaining, because devotion didn't matter. You didn't get anything. You were just playing the game and gaining iridescent shards, and it wasn't a big thing. But now that we're looking at it, I played 4 matches today, and I had varying degrees of my XP. And if I remember right, my first match I actually gained an absurd amount. Let me check that. Okay, so it looks like I gained 815 XP, but there was a bonus 300 XP for it being my first daily killer match. I don't understand how that XP works. I might have to find something how that's actually determined. Let's find out. Okay, so according to the wiki, it's either or. So you play your first match of the day and you get a bonus of 300. So that's, 3/5 of one shard just for playing in that day. Okay, so according to the wiki, it measures time played in the trial. You get 1 XP per second being in the match. So the longer you stay in your match, the more XP you're going to get. Which means if you're very good with a killer, you can't demolish them, otherwise your match is going to end soon, and you're not going to gain as much XP. It says here 18 XP for getting an iridescent, 12 XP for a gold, 6 XP for a silver, so then you don't get anything else after that. So depending on how well you do and how long the match lasts, that's where your XP comes from. So yeah, do good, but don't do too good in order to be efficient gathering your XP to get your rift fragments. So if we go on the assumption that we're going to get an average of 500 XP per match, okay? In order to get the final 43 tiers of the battle pass unlocked, you need 21,500 player account level XP, right, for your devotion. Depending on your level, this is the same as getting from level 1 up to about level 12, 13, 14 in player level. That's how much you need to play. Does that put it into perspective there? 21,000 XP. Now, in order to do that, if we average 500 XP per match, that's going to take 68 matches. Now, if we say that each match lasts about 12 minutes, because that's about on average how long my matches last, depending on the circumstances, my average is about 12 minutes. Most of my videos, the timestamp is about 12 to 15 minutes, so I say about 12 on the lower end, right? That means it's going to take 13.76 hours of just matches, of just gameplay. This is not clicking through the rift. This is not clicking through the Bloodpoints. This is not clicking through the blood web, waiting in lobbies, picking your character, doing anything. This is strictly from the moment you can start moving as your killer to the moment the match ends. 13 hours, 14 hours, okay, let's say 13 and a half hours. 13 and a half hours of just gameplay. 68 matches. Now, think about how much you play Dead by Daylight. I don't play that much. I don't know about you, but 68 matches sounds like quite a bit. If, for whatever reason, you can't complete the battle pass, if you don't buy the remaining tiers, then those last final tiers, including the final reward, are lost to you. You spent $10 for the chance to grind for these things. If you don't make it, well, you can pay however many bucks that you have left to get that final reward, if you really want it, or to reach whatever tier you are trying to reach. So, depending on how the numbers change, because this is tentative, this is just a PTB, we don't know how it's going to change. We don't know what numbers are going to change. This is looking at the PTB numbers, so we don't know what's going to happen. But if the grind is as bad as I feel like it is over the number of weeks, I think the timer said 52 weeks, 53. Well, let's do this. Okay, so maybe I was freaking out too much here. It looks like if the timeline is the same, if they do 53 days, here's another thing, you have to play every single day, but in order to get that bonus 300 XP when you play the first match of the day. But it looks like you can play a match and a half a day. You can play 2 matches a day and get through it. But you have to play every single day. Maybe I just proved myself wrong. I was worried about the amount of time that it would take to grind through the battle pass versus how much time was available. And I let myself believe that people like myself wouldn't have enough time to complete the pass and would be more inclined, this is where the manipulation comes in, to purchase the final tiers. So maybe maybe the grind itself isn't as bad as I think it is. But people are going to tell you, they say, oh, but you earn the battle pass back. You earn your Auric Cells back. You need to grind out, let's see, what was it? In order to get the final one, you need 680 rift fragments in total. So, yeah. But this is just grinding through the entire battle pass. If I'm right, I'm not looking at it right now, but if I'm right, the 68th tier is where your last rift fragment comes in. That doesn't seem right. I'm not sure where I got that number. But anyway, look forward to lots of grinding. I can say that for sure. So whether you think it's worth it, whether you want to support the devs, whether you think that this is fine, I mean, looking at the cosmetics, really, you're not getting that much. I mean, in my opinion, you're really not getting that much value out of it. I mean, look at your favorite cosmetic, right? Whichever one it is. And then take into account the grind that it's going to take to get to that point. Is it worth it? If you only grind up to that point, do you know what you're doing? You're paying $10 for whatever cosmetic that you get, plus, you know, extras that you aren't really that interested in. So I don't know. This is all me. You know, I don't think this is good for the game, but it's going to be good for the devs' wallets because we have all of the fanboys just going nuts over this stuff. Which I can't deny, having like more dailies is kind of nice, but I mean, you're not even getting that much XP from them. You're only getting 15,000 for the little ones and 25 for the bigger ones. So I don't know. That is kind of all. I'm going to copy paste my number notes of this into the description because I don't have time to make a fancy graphic. If you want to look at that, it's in the description. I'm just going to copy paste that, and these are my notes for this thing. If I make a mistake, you can point it out. So you can just let me know there. I think I'll make this a regular thing for each battle pass. We'll bust out exactly what you're getting out of the battle pass. So this is something that I can do even if I don't buy it myself, which I don't know. I'm susceptible to this kind of psychological manipulation. So, I mean, if I do end up caving in and buying it, yeah, I'm gonna feel really shitty about myself, honestly. But that's the position that I'm in, and there are people who don't understand. There are people on the forums who are like, "Oh, just have some self-control, blah 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 blah, this, that, other reasons." They don't understand. They don't understand what these companies are actually doing, and now we know for sure that behavior is nothing special. They're just like Ubisoft, EA, Activision, any of the mobile developers. They're the same. They're no better. So I'm really looking forward to supporting Rockstar in Cyberpunk 2077. I'm not sure how much microtransactions are going to be in Outer Worlds, but I'm looking forward to playing that. Yeah, I hope I can play enough Dead by Daylight to unlock the Hollow Blight cosmetics through the free track while still playing Outer Worlds. We'll see how that goes. Anyway, that's where I'm at. So if I cave in, please forgive me. I'm going to play some Division. Actually, no, I'm going to edit this video and upload it because I get up it's 11 o'clock right now. I go to work at 8. I'm off. I have a 10-hour day, so I'll make another quick video tomorrow. Let me know what you thought of the Division, the background music, the background video. People enjoyed it, you know. It's not the best video, so I don't know. Those of you who watch this channel for me, I love you. I appreciate you guys so much. And I know that even if I change games, even if I, turn my back on Dead by Daylight, that some of you will stick with me and hang out, even if I play something different. So for those of you who are willing to do that in the face of what I believe against what the behavior is doing. I appreciate you guys so much, and it means a lot that I know that if I switch, even if the view count goes down and the subs crash and all of that stuff, that there's those few of you that watch this channel just for me, and you have no idea how much that means to me. So this isn't oh, I'm tearing up. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I need to stop. I completely forgot what I was going to do, what I was talking about. I want to do the battle pass, this review over the content as a regular thing, so look forward to that. I'm going to start adding in different gameplays, probably Fridays, Saturdays, maybe Saturdays, Sundays. I do not know. I'm going to start making that a regular thing because I want to get out of Dead by Daylight. I want to expand the horizons and try to do something different. And this is for the people who just hang out with me. And yes, we're going to save our sanity and abandon the company that doesn't seem to care about us, in my opinion, of course. I know what video it's time to do tomorrow. Yeah, I know what I'm doing. So look forward to it. Until then, for now, I'll see you in the fall.